Hello!
Good morning!
I think spring might be sprung in. Do you think?
Don't frighten me.
It's tried a few times, and then every time we get used to it, it's like, no, snow, ice, rain, cold, wind again.
Yes.
This weekend is a very special anniversary.
Is it?
This weekend, 5 years ago, we launched Narrowboat Silver Fox.
5 years.
That's amazing, isn't it? In some ways, it feels like it was like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Not 5 years, doesn't it? But then in other ways, it feels like it was like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, correct, yeah. That's Mr. What's his name?
Pheasant.
Yeah.
Have you been eating tuna?
Tuna?
No, it's not his breath. His breath's actually all right. It's just that you're going to need some brain food because you're going to have to think today, and it's not a good omen if you can't even remember what a pheasant's called.
I know.
It used to be a pheasant plucker, didn't you? Is that what it was? I got that right that time, didn't I? So anyway, because it's the 5th anniversary of launching Narrowboat Silver Fox, a few days ago, I went on social media and said, if you've got any questions about the last 5 years, about everything that we've done, because we've actually crammed quite a lot into 5 years.
And it just opened the floodgates.
Yeah, literally 2s and 3s of questions were coming in, weren't there? Hundreds. So let's answer a few. First one then.
All right.
If you hadn't have bought Narrowboat Silver Fox, would you have moved to the Canary Islands or somewhere similar to teach scuba diving?
That was an option, wasn't it?
It was. It's a bit of a random question as well.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I was expecting something about composting toilets or something.
Yeah, because we do like Tenerife, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We did used to go to the Canary Islands quite a lot, although we never went scuba diving there.
No, we didn't.
We were scuba diving instructors out in the Maldives about 20 years ago now, actually, 2005, 2006, I think.
A lifetime ago.
We look so young.
Oh, we were.
So, yeah, I mean, before we bought Silver Fox, we were looking at different things that we could do with our lives and moving either to southern Spain, kind of the Andalusian coast, or to one of the Canary Islands.
Yeah, that's right.
We were looking at that. We were looking at properties. We hadn't made any kind of serious bids or a move to do it.
No, but then something happened.
But then, of course, yeah, Brexit. There was talk started about Brexit, and then so freedom of movement stopped. So we stopped thinking about it, and I don't think we didn't buy Silver Fox because of Brexit.
No,
because we couldn't move there. I think it was just at the time we were looking at options, and Silver Fox, well, not even Silver Fox, but just buying a boat and moving onto a boat.
That's right, because narrowboating were always an option, wasn't it?
Yeah, when we made that decision, we didn't make a conscious decision to have Silver Fox built. We made a conscious decision to buy a boat to move on the canal.
That's right.
If you go right back to the beginning, we were actually looking at used boats to start with.
Yeah, we were.
It wasn't until we found Kev at Bickerstaff that we kind of realised that a new boat was within our budget.
And with him.
So, yeah, to answer your question, we could have done, we might have done, but I think we were actually spoiled a bit as well, because once you dived in the Maldives, where the water temperature's like between 30 and 34 degrees, it's just spectacular.
Yeah, it is.
I think we would have been spoiled. I don't think there's many places on Earth that would have matched the beauty and the warmth and everything of the Maldives. So even though Tenerife and the waters around the Canaries would have been lovely, I think we were spoiled in the first place by working out in the Maldives.
We were, and it were the people as well, they were awesome.
Next question is, do you think you were a victim of your own success, and did it affect your mental health?
Victim?
I would never use the word victim. I don't see us as victims of success at all. I would use the word proud.
Yes.
Unexpected, surprised.
I was very surprised and immensely proud of you.
But definitely never a victim in any way whatsoever. Did it affect our mental health? I think I think the success of the channel hasn't affected my mental health. I think I've affected my mental health by allowing me to put pressure on myself to make the videos better. I think as the channel started to grow
every week
and became more successful, especially on the boat towards the back end of the boating days, I used to put too much pressure to make the next video even better. And I think I was trying too hard sometimes, and rather than just doing what we do. So I think that's the only negative way that it affected my mental health.
Yeah, that's it.
But I don't think, no. I mean, determine what you mean by success, because, I mean, when we left the boat, we had about 120,000 subscribers. The videos were getting probably between 100 and half a million views, 100,000 and half a million views a week.
Yeah.
But I mean, that sounds good, but then you get other channels that get like millions of views a week and have got millions of subscribers. So it depends what you mean by success.
Small success.
We were surprised how it kind of took off.
Yeah, we were very surprised.
And when we look at other boaters, we were surprised, because we look at other boaters and think, well, their content's equally as good.
Yeah.
Why are they not getting the views and the subscribers that we're getting? So I don't know. It's never a victim, more surprise, more unexpected. And did it affect our mental health? I wouldn't say it did. Not really.
Not really.
Next question. How do you feel the style and content of your channel has changed and improved since leaving Silver Fox?
Well, it's changed a lot.
Well, it's had to, because we're not on a boat anymore, are we? I think I've said this before. When we left Silver Fox, I 100% expected the YouTube channel to just die away. And it was a surprise for me that it didn't.
We did lose a lot of subscribers, though.
Well, this is the thing. I think to start with, you've got to go back to when we left the boat. So we left the boat, we did the Scotland vlogs, which were equally as popular.
Yeah.
But then we kind of went into this limbo. I expected the channel to die, and I didn't know what to do, because I tried doing like bits of history in the Highlands, and I tried doing the scenic stuff, and I tried doing the mental health stuff, and I tried doing the croft stuff when we were moving in, and I couldn't really in my own mind get an idea of
where we were going.
Yeah, the identity and the kind of where the channel was. And that did stress me out quite a lot. And like Sean says, we did lose a lot of subscribers in those first few months, but we gained a lot of new subscribers. And what I found is it was like the traditional boaters
that we lost.
That we lost. Now, I don't mean this in a bad way, but that was actually a good thing in a couple of ways, because 90% of the people who used to troll us and criticise us were the traditional boaters who never classed us as real boaters. They were never our audience. Our audience is people like you.
But then they still watched us.
But they still watched us, and they loved it. So that was actually a good thing, because we lost that section, and we picked up another section of people who were watching us for us rather than
the boat,
what we were doing, whether it be the boat or the Highlands. And I think that has been a good thing, because that change has not only improved the channel because it's now a more positive channel, there's a lot less negativity.
Yeah, there is.
But it's made me realise that it's not about me looking for content. Not that I ever struggle to find content, because there's so much, it's actually struggling to choose what to include.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
It's not like that you get some people that just will video anything just for content, whereas I've just got so much choice, I don't know what to do, and that's as stressful as not having content. But because I've kind of worked out that people watch us for us, I just film what I want now.
Yeah.
And if it gets no views, it gets no views. If it gets a lot of views, it gets a lot of views.
That's it.
But I'm happier, and the engagement with you is a lot better than it used to be when you had the trolls from the boats.
Which we don't have anymore.
So I think to answer that question in like a summary is that, yeah, when we left, there was like a limbo for a while.
Yeah.
But it kind of worked itself out, and it made me understand more about you as the viewer, rather than about where the channel should go.
Correct.
Next question is, what was the scariest moment when you were narrowboating?
I don't think there was one, was there?
I don't think there was actually a moment when we were truly scared.
We had some nail-biting stuff like the boat crash and...
I like how you say nail-biting instead of squeaky bum moments. I think crossing the Ribble, outbound on the Douglas when it was very choppy, was...
You were very nervous.
It was an awakening, let's put it that way.
It woke Kevin up.
And then coming back, because we kind of nearly got caught in that tidal current and swept down towards Preston.
Yes.
It wasn't scary because we weren't in danger. The worst thing that would have happened...
If we would have sunk.
We would have been swept to Preston. We would have been swept to Preston. So it wasn't really scary.
No, it wasn't.
I think the other one was in Eastham Lock when we were coming back off the Mersey, and they opened the gates a little bit too early, and a current came straight down.
Boat went everywhere.
And took us and Fran and Richard's boat, Laura Maisie, and just swept us back towards the front lock gates.
Yeah, that was a bit scary.
But no, I don't think there's ever been a narrowboating moment. All the little bumps and crashes and everything. It's never been scary. It's been annoying and frustrating sometimes, and a little bit like, oh, what's going to happen?
It's just part of narrowboating.
I think even though we weren't kind of boating at the time, I think COVID was the scariest, but that wasn't just us. I think that was everybody.
That was everybody.
But no, I don't think, I'm not saying that we're invincible or anything, but I don't think there was one moment when we ever felt really scared.
No, we enjoyed every minute of it.
Next question.
Oh.
We've moved. Looking back, would you make the same decision to move on to Narrowboat Silver Fox?
Absolutely.
100%. Yes. And I think for a few reasons. One of them, we were actually talking about this.
Yes.
In the production meeting.
Production meeting.
And I thought it sounded a bit selfish, but we'll tell you the story and you make up your own mind. I don't think it is selfish. I think it's luck.
It was luck.
We decided to move on to the Canal in mid-2018.
Yeah.
And the boat was launched, well, first weekend in May 2019, hence it's the 5-year anniversary this weekend. So we moved on the boat May 2019, and then within months, COVID started. Now, before we moved onto the boat, I used to own a gym in Barnsley.
Yes.
And I used to work at the gym from about 5 o'clock in the morning till lunchtime. And then I used to go home, have a shower, get some lunch, go to the radio station in Doncaster and work on the radio for 2 different areas from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 7 o'clock in the evening. I did that 5 days a week and then worked Saturdays, a few less hours. And then Sean used to drive buses. Now, the guy that I sold my gym to, when the lockdown started, he went bankrupt and lost everything within about, I think it was 3 months of the first lockdown.
Not good.
So I would have lost the gym. I would have
lost everything.
I would have lost everything because the radio station that I worked for as well got taken over by a bigger radio station, and all the staff and presenters
were laid off.
So I would have lost my job at the radio station. I would have lost my gym. Sean would have been on furlough.
Yeah.
We had a fairly sizable mortgage at the time.
Yes, we did.
Our outgoings were probably £2,500 a month.
Yeah.
We would have lost the house. We would have lost everything. So by moving onto the boat, weirdly, that actually saved us.
It actually did. It was the best decision we ever made.
When COVID struck. And I say I feel selfish because I feel really sorry for the guy that bought the gym. Nobody knew.
That's right.
Absolutely no way anybody could have known what was coming. But
it was just sheer luck for us.
I do feel really bad for him that he lost that. And I feel bad for the presenters that lost their jobs at the radio station, because I know how hard it is to get anywhere in that industry. So I do feel sad in that respect, but I feel lucky in another respect. I think apart from that, the travels and the memories, we have got just thousands, tens of thousands of photographs and videos and memories that are going to stay with us for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
And we made so many friends.
I do miss the friends.
That we would never have met otherwise.
That's right.
And that I'm sure we'll know for the rest of our lives. And we're going to see them at the wedding later this year, which is going to be brilliant, because we haven't seen some of them for over a year or
That's
two.
right.
So would we do it again? Absolutely, yes. It was the right decision. It was the right choice for so many reasons. And yes, absolutely, we would do it again. Next question. Controversial, this one.
It is controversial.
Are there any Canal vloggers that you haven't met yet that you'd like to meet?
Oh.
I'm glad they asked it like that instead of asking, are there any Canal vloggers you've met that you'd rather not have? Again, we were talking about this one and trying to work out who we'd met and who we hadn't, and we've met
most of them, I think.
I think well, as of the time that we left the Canals, because now there's about 3,000 of them. But
that few.
At the time that we left the Canal, I think we'd met most, if not all of them.
Yes.
I think there's only one that we haven't met that we'd really like to, and that's Holly the Cafe Boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Seem nice people, and we watch their videos.
And I'm surprised we never met them because A, they're nice people, And B, they do coffee and cake, which is basically our favourite thing ever.
We would have followed them.
And I only messaged them a couple of weeks ago and said, look, just get yourselves up here to the Highlands, just set up a pop-up cafe, and our business alone will make it worth their while. And they even suggested turning Sherlock's Muse into a pop-up cafe.
Did they?
Which I'm like, I'm totally up for that. We'll move Sherlock for a couple of days and you can take over that.
Oh dear.
So yeah, we've met them all except Holly the Cafe Boat, which I think if we ever went back, we'd have to make a beeline for them and
we would
and meet them too.
They seem awesome.
Or get yourselves up here.
Yes.
I've been looking forward to this one.
He gets giddy with these.
Next question. You were never real boaters. How does it feel to know that so many people dislike you? I changed the word from what it was to the word dislike because it was a naughty word. Now, we don't normally include trolling, toxic, hateful comments.
No, we don't.
But the reason I included this one is there's a little story behind it that I thought, well, I wanted to share it with you because it still makes me chuckle when I think about it even today, like 3 years later.
Yes.
When we decided to sell Narrowboat Silver Fox, we put like an announcement on our website and on social media. And literally within minutes and hours, the trolls had already started on Facebook groups and on online forums, on websites.
Yeah.
Telling everybody how Silver Fox was vastly overpriced, £70,000 overpriced, and terrible boat, and this, that, and the other, and they never watched us, and it was toxic. It was horrible.
They obviously did watch us,
but karma played a blinder.
It didn't half.
Because the trolls and the Facebook groups created so much frenzy of hate.
So much publicity.
It created massive amounts of publicity, amounts that we could never have dreamed of. And it was purely because of those hating comments that we got 2 offers on the first day for the asking price of the boat.
Yeah.
And one of them actually said that they'd seen it on one of these Canal forums of people slagging us off, and they never would have known about it otherwise. So it was thanks to the trolls that they got all this publicity, and we sold the boat literally immediately on the first day. I think we accepted the offer from Derek and Pauline.
Yeah. Lovely couple.
And they've, contrary to what the trolls said about the boat falling apart and selling it at a £70,000 loss within a few weeks.
She's still going strong.
Yeah, they've been on it nearly as long as we were on it.
Well, I think they've been on it longer, haven't they?
No.
Have they not?
Moving on. Next question. Is there a canal you didn't do that you wish you had?
Yeah, there is actually.
Well, you can say it.
Llangollen.
Spitting all over them now.
Yeah, the Llangollen. I can't say it properly.
We did have plans to do it on the winter that we ended up on the Peak Forest Canal.
Yeah, we did.
But again, the COVID, the kind of year before, had screwed the plans up.
Yeah, it were all to pot.
And there were some closures, and that's why we ended up on the Peak Forest for that second winter.
It was that lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah, we would have. Our plan originally was to be on the
Llangollen.
I've still got the notes, the production, because I make notes on what I'm going to do and points along the canal, and I've still got the notes for that trip. I've still got, it's like a plan of a drone shot, a wide sweeping distant drone shot.
Of the Ponkasulty Aqueduct.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Ponkasulty,
it says
yeah.
Spunky Salty on my production notes. So it's got this wide shot of the drone kind of scanning the Spunky Salty Aqueduct and me standing on the back of Silver Fox.
You get hate mail from the Welsh.
Weeing over the edge. But it never happened. So yeah, I don't think... We never did the K&A, the Kennet and Avon, and a lot of people used to say, why aren't you doing the Kennet and Avon?
Yeah, I'd like to have done the Bristol Channel.
Which would have then ended up with us coming back up there, I think.
Yeah, it would.
The reason we never did the Kennet and Avon is because we did pass the entrance to it from the Thames, but we had everything booked to do the tidal Thames into London.
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't do it that time. But yeah, we would have eventually gone down the Bristol way and come back that way. There's others, like there's the mid-levels and the River Nene and places like that, which...
Yes. Which Pat and Highland have just done.
Yeah, lots of other vloggers have done it, but I'm glad we never did. If we had done the
Llangollen.
I think it definitely would have been in the winter. I couldn't have managed it in the summer. I think it's like every time you see it, it's like something out of Wacky Races, isn't it?
Yeah, Boating David can testify to that.
Quite a few people asked this next question.
Yeah.
And that was, where was the nicest place you ever moored?
Well, there's quite a few, isn't there? There's one on our favourite canal.
Peak Forest.
Yeah, we used to love mooring there. In fact, we got locked down there. It was lovely.
Yeah, Peak Forest, I think it's no secret it's our favourite canal. There's a little place near Wood End. The couple who live in the house there, we actually got to know them, Joe, and that was a really nice mooring. New Mill's lovely. But then I think the really nice ones like Devil's Garden on the River Weaver. Because you can only fit two like long 57, 60 foot boats.
Yeah, you can.
And there's no road nearby at all. There's no traffic noise. There is a footpath along the river, but we barely saw anybody there. You only saw probably 1 or 2 boats a week passing you. It was
just 2 boats moored there, us and Fran and Rich.
Yeah, that was really nice. I think the other place was, for me, was on the Caledonian Canal. And there's a place called Lagan, which is beautiful. There's a little restaurant bar boat opposite, but again, just the landscape. And it's a place, obviously, that the English boaters can't go to. Any for you?
I did like the cities that we visited. Not Manchester, Liverpool and Birmingham.
Salthouse Dock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the noisiest city mooring in the country.
But it was awesome.
It was, it's the atmosphere, I think, of Liverpool that makes Salthouse Dock just spectacular. I could stay there. I could moor there permanently.
And Scousers are amazing.
They really are. Next question. How bizarre is it that you'll always be associated with Narrowboat Silver Fox, even though it was only part of your life for a short time?
How's
that you?
No, it's not me, it's the horse next to me.
I wouldn't call it bizarre. I think the reason we're always associated with Narrowboat Silver Fox is because that's what we were doing when people
started watching us
or became aware of us.
Yeah.
And the reason I know that is because we have a lot of viewers that started watching us since we moved to Scotland and associate us with Scotland.
That's right, yes.
And they only kind of catch on to the older videos and we're like, oh, you used to have a narrowboat.
Yeah.
And it's weird how that transition is kind of getting more and more common now with,
it is.
With the new viewers. So, yeah, I think that's where it is. I think because people knew us, because when we started the channel we didn't have Silver Fox. We didn't even know what sort of boat we were going to get.
No, we didn't.
So it's weird, isn't it? How that's, but I wouldn't call it bizarre. I think it's just, I think that's what we were doing when people became aware of
That's it, yeah.
Next question. And moved again. What was the most stressful part about building Narrowboat Silver Fox? And were there any sleepless nights worrying about the build?
It wasn't stressful.
I don't think it was stressful.
No.
I don't think it was stressful at all. I think there were sleepless nights, but it was sleepless nights because of excitement, never really because of stress.
Nah.
And
Kev had it in hand.
I think the reason it wasn't stressful was all down to Kev and Sue, who ran Bickerstaff Boat Company, because Kev is just an absolute legend when it came to building boats.
And Sue bakes awesome cakes.
She does, yeah. So, I mean, Kev would literally work every hour he was able to work.
Yeah, he did.
And he's honest. He believes that if you do a job, you do it right, and you do it first time, and you get a team of people who are going to do it right.
Yeah.
And when you see that in action, you've got absolutely no need to stress because you have total trust and total faith in what Kevin and the team were doing. So I don't think there was ever really a point when we were, and I get stressed very easily.
Very.
I don't think there was a point that I got stressed because of anything that was going on.
No, I don't think so, no.
And I think that's why it turned out so well.
Yeah.
Obviously you get snagging, but every single boat has snagging, and there's levels of snagging. I think the worst we had is we had a leak through a mushroom, which just needed a tiny bit of sealant.
Yeah.
I think even Blue Tack fixed it.
It did.
that was it. Everything about the boat was just so well made.
Yeah.
And we never had to struggle. And that's the thing that I think you find, I don't know if it's always been like that or since we kind of started talking about it, but it's sad because you see so many people kind of having boats built now but not putting in that legwork that we put in.
They don't do the research.
Go back to the beginning of our vlogs and you'll see that not only did we not know whether we were getting a new boat or a used boat to start with, but we ended up touring dozens of boat builders around the country, talking to the customers, eating the cakes.
Loads of cake.
Going on their boats.
Yeah.
And really trying to find, and that's how we found Kev and the bigger staff and how we got that. But nowadays, you see, I mean, we see so many, especially on YouTube, who just kind of pick up a builder for the sake of publicity, striking a deal. I mean, there was never a deal with us and Bickerstaff.
No, there wasn't, actually, no.
As the vlogs prove. But it's just sad that you see that day. And nowadays, I mean, I've seen one recently where, I don't know where they struck up this deal, but you could tell there was no kind of rapport between them. It was purely publicity and a deal, and the boat basically turned into a shit show after it was launched.
It did.
That's not the way, is it? That's
no.
not the way you do it. I think if you put in the research and put in the time, then it's an investment. It's not only a financial investment, but it's an investment in your happiness and your future and a stress-free life. And I think the way to do that is to put in that legwork.
Yes.
As you can probably see from Sean's Primark top, the next question is about fashion.
Next.
Which one of you has got more fashion sense, and do they help the other picking out clothes? I don't think either of us has got much fashion sense, to be honest. I mean, we're beyond middle age now, so
Otis has more than me.
We should be really wearing kind of tan Farrah slacks and things like that, shouldn't we? But we're not allowed to wear light clothes.
And chinos.
Yeah, but Sean's colourblind, so I tend to pick out a lot of clothes for him because his combinations don't generally match.
I can't mix and match.
But yeah,
weird.
I pick his clothes out for him most of the time. Next question was, how did you feel stepping off Silver Fox for the very last time?
Ooh, that's a good question, because wherever we've lived and we step out of the house or off the boat or whatever for the last time, it's always sad.
I always cry.
Yeah.
I always cry whenever I leave anywhere. And I did take a photo of Silver Fox as we were walking away. And I didn't cry straight away. We walked, because we were at North Kilworth Marina.
We waited until we got in the car.
We got in the car, and it was just as we were driving out of the marina and the waterworks started. And I think I was crying for about half an hour. I had to have an emergency frappuccino, if I remember right.
Yes, I remember that, yes.
To calm me down a little bit.
We had to call it Starbucks.
I think
she's laying an egg.
I think we're laying an egg. I think once we got a few miles up the M6, I kind of calmed down a bit, and then you start focusing on
the future.
On the future. So, I mean, the car was absolutely jam-packed with belongings.
Couldn't see out the rear view mirror.
No, we had Otis in the back seat, and we were driving up towards Cumbria then, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
So, yeah, it was sad. But to be honest, it's part of the journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was sad, but we knew. Again, I think we answered it in a question earlier where we've got all these memories and photos and videos. And I think the reason I cried for so long is that not only were we losing the boat, shut up, quiet! I kind of felt like we were losing you as well.
Yes.
And I think that's why I was really unsure about what the future held. Because I was scared about losing you as well as I don't think we ever felt like we'd lost the boat because we'd made that conscious decision to move on.
That's right.
But it was just kind of that next thing, and how was it going to work for us?
Yeah.
Next question. Ooh. What's the best thing you've learned about each other over the last 5 years?
I've learned to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, yes. You could learn more.
I could see. I think we've become closer. I've learned that we've become closer.
We've learned more about each other.
We've learned more about each other. I've learned how to understand you more.
Yeah, I mean, by the time we'd moved on to Silver Fox, we'd been together about 25, 26 years.
Yeah.
But during that time, we'd always worked so much that he never really had any comprehension of the kind of mental health stuff, did you? And we only saw each other for kind of eating and sleeping.
Yeah,
and
really?
naughties.
And naughties.
So it wasn't until we were like living together 24 hours a day in that tiny little steel boat that he got an idea of what was going on. And I think that was a bit of a shocker for that first year or two for you, wasn't it?
It was, yes, it was a shocker.
So we learnt more. Well, he learnt more about me, I think.
Yeah,
I think
did.
we got a bit closer once he started to understand that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I've learned over the last 5 years? Is to take risks.
Yes.
And make memories and take photos and go places and do things and see people, because you don't want to be laying on your deathbed saying, oh, I wish I'd done that.
Wish I'd done this.
I wish I'd gone here. Oh, I'm glad I never got that tattoo. Whoever laid on the deathbed saying, I'm glad I never got that tattoo.
Bizarre.
Just do stuff, because
Do it.
if it doesn't work out the way you want it to, things always work out. Might not be in the way you want it, but
just in a different way.
Always work out. So go out and make memories while you can, because you never know what's around the corner.
Correct.
I think this is the most commonly asked question of all the questions.
Really?
And it's not, are you getting another boat?
Oh.
Very similar. Do you miss narrowboat life?
In a word, no.
I don't think you can say yes or no to that, because I miss things like specific moorings that I started to feel at home at, like Devil's Garden, like Salthouse Dock.
I miss friends.
Like the Peak Forest Canal. I miss like those places. Yeah, I miss the people.
I miss the friends.
We made a lot of forever friends.
We did.
I miss the people knocking on the boat and saying hello, and kind of going by on the boat and shouting, Foxes Afloat!
Yeah, they did.
So I kind of miss all that. I don't miss the generators. I don't miss the rude people. I don't miss the boats flying past you at like 5-6 mile an hour, and you just don't ask them to slow down anymore because you know you're going to get a mouthful of abuse.
Yeah.
What do you mean, tick over? Oh God. I don't miss the rude people, but you're going to get that anywhere, aren't you? Whether you're on a boat or not. I don't miss the life as such. I miss certain aspects of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think you can answer yes or no to it. Next question. What is the one moment you can say was your favourite and stays to you to this day?
There isn't one single moment.
Want that a song by Diana Ross? Or no, that was one shining moment, wasn't it? Whitney Houston did One Moment in Time.
She did, yes.
I've forgotten the question now.
Moment?
Your favourite moment. So what was your favourite moment?
I've got two.
Go on then.
The Lancaster Canal.
It's not a moment.
It's not. That's what I said. There's not one moment. There's a time. Lancaster Canal.
Yeah.
And the River Weaver and Liverpool.
Yeah.
So the Lancaster Canal with Pat and Mick.
Yeah.
Pat and Eileen. That were an awesome time. And then the River Weaver and Liverpool with Fran and Rich.
I know. If I ask a question on social media and sometimes people kind of don't answer it the way I'm expecting to, and I get annoyed by that. So it's my turn to annoy the viewer now.
Okay.
So for me, the whole 2.5 years that we lived on Silver Fox, for me, that whole 2.5 years, I look back on as one moment.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I think the good thing about it is even though there was good times and bad times, there was vastly more good times than bad times.
Yeah.
And when I look back on that 2.5 years as a moment now, as a memory, it's a good memory. Sometimes brings tears to my eye because it's a good memory, and I think of all the nice things. I don't think back about the bad things.
No.
So for me, that period, that 2.5 years, for me is that best moment.
Yeah.
Next one. How did you cope with all the strange folk who stalked you? It happened.
There's none stranger than us.
People used to, 99.9% of people were lovely. They'd walk by on the towpath and say hello. They'd knock on the boat and say, I hope you don't mind, we just wanted to say hello. Or they'd pass on a boat or on a car or whatever, away from aeroplanes. But there were the odd few, I use the word odd on purpose,
yes,
who would deliberately stalk us. They would try and work out where we are. They would linger around the boat, taking photographs.
Yes, I remember that one time.
Taking photographs and just being a little bit weird. Or there's that guy that walked on the boat when I was on the boat totally with nothing on, making a cup of coffee. So yeah, there's a few. None of them, I would say, with any kind of malicious intent. They were all very friendly. I just think that they weren't thinking.
Yeah.
about their actions while they were doing it. And again, looking back, it's quite funny, and we never felt threatened.
No, we didn't.
There was only one that we felt threatened by, but the police were onto him straight away. During COVID. But yeah, on the whole, it was actually quite funny.
Yeah.
I like this question because we had to think about it last night when we were talking about the answers. The question is, which is your personal favourite Foxes Afloat vlog?
I've got two.
Go on.
It's the paint reveal and the internal reveal.
Also, right back at the beginning.
Right back at the beginning.
When we were building.
And I think the music does it.
Yeah.
The music definitely does it. And Colin's cinematography, wow. It were awesome.
I was just filming what Kev had made and the team had made, so it was easy to film.
They'd done an amazing job.
It's really difficult. I don't actually think I have a favourite because I'm quite critical.
He's quite critical of his own work.
Of my own work. And I don't ever really watch them through for entertainment purposes. I obviously watch them when I've made them to look for mistakes and for the publishing on YouTube and things like that. So, but I don't actually think I've got any favourite. I think the Hill Morton, when we did the Hill Morton locks, and I did a vlog about Hill Morton, about the community that was built around the locks, I think that's probably one of the most underestimated vlogs. I really like that vlog, but it didn't do very well. It didn't get watched. I mean, he's probably got 100,000 views, which is a lot of people, but it didn't. I think I wanted a lot of people to watch that because I just loved the community. I loved that vibe that Hill Morton had.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
And the train shop, obviously.
Train shop.
Tony's Trains there, which which I think he was selling the business at the time, and I was like that tempted.
And it's where we bought our toilet.
Yeah. So yeah, the Hill Morton one I think is underestimated. A lot of people like the Toddbrook Reservoir one, and that was like my first kind of foray into
documentary,
like reporting and documentary. Which I when I watched that back, I think, oh my god, you look far too serious. You're trying to be Kate Adie or something, you know. The cruising vlogs for me are all much of a much, and I think sometimes I watch them when I'm looking for clips and I spot little bits and I think I don't remember doing that, or I like that angle, or why didn't I do this angle more? Yeah. So, yeah, that I can't really answer that. I don't have a favourite. I think the Hill Morton was underestimated. Toddbrook was quite popular. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Sorry, it's more specific.
I had two.
Last question. Oh, I'm glad it is because I can go get me coffee and my pan au chocolat then. Which do you prefer, Highland life or Canal life?
Ooh.
And which is better for your health and well-being?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
It is, because I loved Canal life.
I love Canal life. And
I love the Highlands.
I think there's something I don't like about being asked to choose which is better. Because for me, health and well-being starts in here.
Yes.
And not really about where you live. We've lived in one of the most beautiful places on earth. We've lived on a Maldivian island.
500 by 100 yards.
With like talcum powder white sands. Yeah. Crystal clear warm waters, lovely people around us, and we've been unhappy.
Yeah.
We've lived in a tiny bungalow in a former mining the mining town village in West Yorkshire, and been the happiest we've been in life. So I think your surroundings can make a difference to how you feel and how you live,
but not always.
I think health and well-being really starts in you rather than your surroundings.
Correct.
And as for which do we prefer,
I'm not going to choose.
It's not that you're not going to choose. I don't think you can choose.
No.
Canal life has got so much to offer, which is why it's still so popular.
Yeah.
I know we played a part in kind of making it even more popular with a lot of people. But go back and people were making it popular for us as a decision.
That's
back
right.
when we made that decision.
Yeah.
So we didn't kind of trailblaze that idea.
No, we didn't.
We got caught up in it as much as a lot of other people do. And it's a fantastic thing to do in life, but it's not for everybody. But the same way as living here beyond the Great Wall in the far north of Scotland,
it's not for everybody.
It can be quite isolating.
Yeah.
So again, that's not for everybody. So I can't choose. I think Canal life and Highland life have both got positives and negatives.
Yes, they have. I think so.
I could do either. I could live back on the canals. I could live here in Scotland. Could you?
Absolutely. But that doesn't mean we're moving.
It doesn't mean we're moving, so don't start asking if we're getting another boat. That's it.
Are we done?
Thank you for all your questions.
Yes.
And I'm sorry if you asked one and we haven't answered it. That's for one of two reasons. One, we've run out of time, or two...
We deleted it.
We deleted it. It was basically crap.
I'm kidding.
No, it's not. I wonder where we'll be, like 5 years from now.
Doc Brown once said, your future's not written yet.
Yeah. Your future is what you make it.
Yeah.
So make it a good one. I wonder if the train barn will be finished.
Probably not. Probably not.
5 years, Otis will be an old man.
I'll be an old man.
You'll be an old man, won't you? I'll still be 38,
Yeah.
won't I?
It's not that now.
You don't know what's around the corner.
No, you don't.
Nobody knows what's around the corner. So go out and
Enjoy life.
make every moment count and make loads of memories while you can. That's what we do.
We do.
And we're still knackered at the end of every day. Him with his bad knees and me with my bad back. We're a medical encyclopedia waiting to be written.
You are.
I am, aren't I? We hope you've enjoyed this and that it's answered your questions and brought back a few memories.
Yeah.
It has for us.
Yeah.
It's taught us a lesson, hasn't it?
Yeah. That'll teach you.
If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and YouTube will send you a notification every time we release a new video.
It will.
There's no live chats this weekend. Well, not on Saturday
Not on
anyway.
Saturday.
There might be on Sunday. I
Yes.
don't know. You'll have to check the lives and see if there's anything scheduled.
I think we'll do it on Sunday.
Yeah, Sean's away.
I am.
Well, he's been away since you've watched this. Or he might still be away while you're watching this. This is the good thing about YouTube. Nobody has a fucking clue what's going on, do they? Till next time, take care of yourself. Go and enjoy yourself. See you later. Bye-bye.
Ta-ra.